Let y'all get all up in here. Monet, have a seat. Shake my hand. Fist bump if it's COVID for y'all. For y'all COVID states. Dap it up. It's popping. Making sure we good on all fronts. Yeah, we good on that. On that one. And what else? I'm just double checking, make sure we good on all our social medias and our Googles and whatnots. What's popping, my guy? Yes, sir. Bang. Right there. What's good with y'all? What's good with y'all? Who else? Who else? Can we dap? Who in here? Who in there? Who in here? Who in here? All right. It's been an interesting week happening so far. Interesting. But without any further ado, let's start our countdown, but let's get into it. We got some things to talk about. We got some stuffs to talk about. Let's get it.
Making a separation from rodents. Get out, display rhyming, shining like gold glitters. Hustlers rapping, more intense. A war mistakes. Bagging school, shooting at snakes. Losing our stash over numbers when dice break. First pack,
don't know about this.
Up shake. Up the A+, discuss guns busting and weights. Snakes trusting lots of hate.
I know.
The world at stake. Teenage lust. Unbelievably in the black at night. To lose my description if I have to act tonight.
That's the only reason you did that. There was
Life
no
of a
other
rap
reason.
star, thugs young, holding guns.
You would have been like 13 and 3 if you didn't do that.
In the school lunch line, in the process, drop out and graduate the crime. Respect real stories, no record deal glories on the block, freestyling. Singing tape, record me while I show off for girls in the material
again, shout out
world.
to the
Slow
folks
jam
in the
making a
building.
scent, and then Earl.
Free marbles. R.I.P. Killer Banks. My man Francis Fire, what up? He got that clothing wear out there. Check my man out. Yeah. We did well for our picks. We didn't do too bad. We did rather well. We would have did a lot better if, like Chuck said, Sean McVay wasn't being crazy, and if it was one other one that was just like, come on, y'all really did that. But other than that, I'm trying to tell you, it's just and these picks are getting better because these weeks are clearing themselves up. There's really only a few teams that are good so far, and it's pretty much the same teams from last year, more or less. The Rams, we have to look out for the Rams because Puka Nakua came out of nowhere. He's like Cooper Cup, but younger and faster and ethnic. I mean, your name is Puka Nakua. He's definitely ethnic. But so yeah, and then we got people going on short weeks. We got people that are injured. We got defensive coordinators that just got investigated and houses raided. Ooh, Lord, it's crazy. Yeah. Cup's done for like 6 or 7 games or something like that. It don't even matter. They don't even need him. And when he comes back, they got 2 cups or maybe a cup and a half. it, depending on their whether there's dry or liquid measurement. Um, yeah, Puka Nakua, Kula, whatever it is. But yeah, as always, share the live. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't yet. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't yet. But yeah, last week was actually a pretty good week. It pretty much turned out for the most part, how I thought it was going to turn out. Nick Chubb's injury, I can still see it. I'm angry that I saw it real time. That's one of the worst ones I've seen real time. I've seen a few. That's up there with Marcus Lattimore, South Carolina's, probably Willis McGahee. I'm speaking on football. I mean, Gordon Hayward maybe on the basketball tip was probably one of the worst I've seen on just period, because that one was crazy. But what I saw, even though you didn't see any bone or anything like that, the way he folded, Lord have mercy. Yeah, and he's the same knee that he got all blew out before too, and he is the truth. Chubb is amazing. He's one of the top backs in the league every year, but every 5 years he gets hurt, unfortunately. Lord. Let me see what was else. CJ Stroud. I'm trying to tell y'all about CJ Stroud. I told you I liked him to be the best coming out of that year. Because if you really watched him in Ohio State, his deep ball, and his poise in the pocket, he plays like a veteran. And his length, I like his size. CJ Stroud is going to be nice, and he's doing this with the Texans team that he's throwing it to Nico Collins. Nico Collins sounds like a real estate agent. Nico Collins, attorney at law. 1-800-677 cash now. Nico Collins. But yeah, Texans are trash. But CJ Stroud is I think he's going to be nice. Bryce Young, he looks like a deer in the headlights, but then he'll flash and do some good things. You know, that reminds me of Justin Fields the first year. Just deer in the headlights. We already talked about that that offensive coordinator situation. Big dude, yeah, absolutely. I mean, his deep ball is almost perfect. His deep ball is crazy. Yeah, Bryce is too tiny. At the end of the day, size does matter as a male playing football. So it just really does. Size does matter. Justin isn't. Yes, I agree with that. He is subject to his second or third coordinator. The Bears is a complete shit show. I feel bad for Justin Field because all he needed, kind of just like Trey Lance, is somebody that's actually going to sit there and develop him. You see what Trey Lance did in the offseason, just past offseason, worked with Patrick Mahomes' quarterback coach, really tightened up his wind up and so on and so forth. But even the 49ers said they pretty much picked Sam Darnold to be their second QB before Trey Lance even went to go fix his mechanics or anything like that. So that's unfair to Trey Lance, and that's why they signed Darnold, because they just promised him the number 2 backup position before Trey Lance could even have a chance to do anything. Absolutely, yeah, 4 games. But you know who they say is good? Trevor Lawrence. But Trevor Lawrence, give some time. No, disregard that has been 3 years of full starts. He had the number 1 starts, training camps, off seasons, playbooks, continuity. Let's give Trevor the Lawrence time. You know, he's a winner with 4 interceptions. Never mind that his defense shuts people out in the second half. Trevor the Lawrence. But, you know, after 2.5 games, Trey Lance is a bust. You can't call nobody good or bad after 2.5 games. Like that's I don't understand that. After 2.5 games, Peyton Manning was trash. After 2.5 games, every quarterback in the league in the Hall of Fame, except for like Ben Roethlisberger and Patrick Mahomes, were trash. And Russell Wilson. There's like 3 quarterbacks in the history of the game that were good after 3 starts. Are you and CJ Stroud evidently now because CJ Stroud is doing his thing. Darnold is trash. Darnold is hot bucket garbage. He has more interceptions than Darnold be seeing goals. No, he's not. He's not better than anything. Y'all might get a win this week. Cousin. It depends on if Richardson nephew is playing or not. Yeah, See, this is what's going to happen. As what's been happening. If y'all, I watched that whole Chiefs game. I didn't flip back and forth to no other game like I usually do. I can watch any game. I can watch multiple games at the same time. But I honed in specifically on the Chiefs one because I wanted to see how he looked up against Steve Spagnuolo, and specifically against Steve Spagnuolo because Steve Spagnuolo is going to make you. He's going to take away what you love to do and force you to do other things. And Trevor Lawrence, outside of his first read, cannot do other things. Like, that's not reps. That stuff is not reps. With Trey Lance, that stuff is reps. You know, throwing it high to receivers, throwing it at receivers' feet, throwing it behind receivers. That is rep stuff. That stuff can be corrected. Bad footwork, that stuff can be corrected with reps. But when you're not pulling the trigger when your receivers are wide open, that has nothing to do with reps. That's just how he's not processing the field. In Clemson, that's why Deshaun Watson is struggling right now, because in Clemson, that system that they run down there is a one-read system, and they're throwing, you know, screen passes that the Etienne and little hitches and quick outs and RPOs to pull it in and getting the linebacker to shade up a little bit with the fake handoff and then throwing it to a quick slant. That's easy quarterbacking. And Trevor Lawrence is a great athlete. So don't get me wrong. He's a great athlete, but he's not a great quarterback. These are totally 2 different things. Like, oh, y'all, yeah, exactly. Oh, y'all play the Jags? Oh, yeah, nah, I ain't getting no win. Not against the Jags. Peterson is a great coach. Peterson is definitely a great coach. Donald's better than Trey Lance at the most. No, I wouldn't say that, brother, because Trey Lance looked a lot better in training camp, and I think after the second drive of the preseason. But Sam Darnold should look better, though. He's been playing for 19 years. Trey Lance he barely. Yeah, Spags is a beast. He's that's why Andy Reid likes him, is because he makes adjustments at halftime. He does great job at adjustments, and he takes away what you love to do. He's gonna have what is called that bend don't break defense. You know what I mean? They're still gonna give up 300 something total yards, maybe 15, 18 points, but he knows his quarterback is going to give you 25, 27, 28 points. So he doesn't need to be perfect. He just needs to just be perfect within the red zone. That red zone defense, and that's where Trevor Lawrence, if he can't run it in, I'm not even going to keep on Trevor Lawrence. Yes, absolutely. And that's what people understand. And that's why Trevor Lawrence and the Jags are doing better, is because of this word right there, Dougie P. Let me see if I can touch Dougie P right there. Dougie P, baby. Dougie P. That is the reason Trevor Lawrence is going to do well, because look who Dougie P won a Super Bowl with. Nick Foles and Carson Wentz. When's the last time you saw Nick Foles and Carson Wentz be good? I'll wait. Y'all can even use Google to tell and answer that question. The last time Nick Foles and Carson Wentz looked good. Right? There's a reason they haven't looked good since. Exactly. There's a reason for that. because Dougie P does something that what makes him top 3 head coach in my opinion. And he got a ring to show for it. There's not too many coaches in the league that got rings right now, not named Belichick and Andy Reid. That's the only ones that got rings right now is Belichick and Andy Reid in the last 50 years, right? Dougie P got one of them Jones in there. John Harbaugh, and Pete Carroll, whatever. Dougie P got one with Nick Foles. And not only that, he did it against a Belichick defense, because Dougie P does something great. He puts his quarterbacks in position to win because he sees what they do well, and guess what? He designs plays for things that they do well. Carson Wentz, that offense that Carson Wentz ran at the Eagles was the same offense that he ran in North Dakota State. The same exact offense. That's why Carson Wentz looked as good as he did, because he was running the same offense as North Dakota State. So everybody thought he was good. And no, Dougie P just was like, give me that playbook. Okay, what did you run? That's what we're running. I mean, it worked, and guess what? It was working until Carson Wentz got hurt. Carson Wentz was on an MVP journey that year until he got hurt. Nick Foles looked like Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. He didn't look like Tom Brady the first game against the first playoff game. I forget it. It escaped me because that he wasn't ready. But then he implemented an offense that was Nick Foles friendly, because everybody thought when Carson Wentz went down, it was over. I think it was against the Raiders the first game after that, when Carson Wentz went down and Nick Foles came in and played the Raiders, and everybody was like, Atlanta. That's what it was, Atlanta? Okay. I knew it was a darker team. I remember it just being a darker team, and he didn't look that good. But they changed the offense. They started putting in these trick plays. Remember, Philly was the infamous Philly play. They had to utilize. Yeah, it was the Raiders. Man, get out of here. I knew it was the Raiders. Then the Giants. Yeah. I knew the first one back was trash, though. The Raiders game, he looked horrible. But then they changed that whole offense up. Dougie P, same thing. He came down here. That offense down there in Jacksonville looks like what they're doing in Clemson. It looks like the same exact stuff. Trevor. So it looks like Trevor's playing better. He's not. His reads are open more, and Calvin Ridley is pulling in amazing throws. He's still almost getting them killed. He's still throwing those hospital balls up. So I'm looking at stats. Stats are for people that don't know what the game is for. When we played football when we were younger in the backyard, we didn't say, oh, man, I got 100 and some stats, and I'm the tight end. No, you caught the ball and you ran for touchdowns, and whoever had the most touchdowns win. Wins are a team sport. Wins and losses are not a quarterback stat. You can't tell me Norm Van Brocklin with 554 yards, the record, and with a loss, he lost that game. He has a record for the most passing yards in a game, and he lost that game. You gonna give that loss to him? No, the defense was trash. Both defenses were trash. You can't stop doing that to people. Atlanta was well for him. Yeah. All right. Enough of the rants and the Ravens. Let's get down to these picks. That's what y'all here for real, because y'all ain't here to listen to me talk about how trash Trevor Lawrence is. Y'all here for this. That moolah, baby. Yeah, gun. Put these guns away. I ain't got no license for these guns. I'm gonna go load neck up. It's hot. I'm in Florida. Put those guns away a little bit. Put them a little way. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's a little too far. Right there. Right here. See, I should have just left it alone. Always playing with stuff. We're just gonna leave it right there. But always wear red because it's always 49ers. So you always want to see me in red because it's always going to be 49ers. Just an FYI. And I'm not going back and forth with y'all about it. I'm really not going to go back and forth with y'all about it. All right. First game on a short week. We got the 49ers versus the Giants. 49ers versus the Giants. This thing has moved. And I knew it was going to move because they made an announcement. So I'm going to change it. It moved by 0.5 point. but I'm still going for it. But they made an announcement that the Giants are out 5 starters, 2 of them on the offensive line, and one of them Saquon Barkley. So the Giants are coming in looking like the Giants have been, because Brian Daboll is not a good coach. He's a good offensive coordinator. This is what these teams need to figure out. Some of these guys aren't good coaches. They're good offensive coordinators. Like, just leave them as coordinators. Brian Daboll is your buddy you can have beers with and bring to the barbecue, but you ain't gonna have him running a Fortune 500 company. That's what you want your head coach to be. You want your head coach to be a shark like that who's going to run a Fortune 500 company. I believe Bill Belichick will run a Fortune 500 company. Kyle Shanahan, Sean Payton. You think Brian Daboll, Brian DeBull is going to be running? You get. I know that's right. Basically, that's where I'm going with it. Yes. Like, it's so this is what it actually is. Like, there's a 10.5 over 44.5. Here's the thing. It is Thursday. Thursday night games can be tricky, and it seems like a trap game. It very well could be. Brandon Ayuk is hurt, so Brandon Ayuk may not play. 49ers have too many too many weapons. Absolutely too many weapons. The Giants aren't even healthy. We really should have beat the Rams by 10 points if Sean McVay wasn't being petty. He knew what the spread was. He's smart. Sean McVay is the most intelligent coach I've ever seen in my life. He can remember down, distant, and play from years ago. Like, Sean McVay is a beast. Yeah, Brandon he's the number 1 rated quarterback. If y'all go to my Facebook page, for those that are on my Facebook page, or if you're on my Twitter page, the thing that I retweeted with Brandon Ayuk is the number 1 rated wide receiver this year. You know what the difference is? He has somebody throwing him the ball now. Jimmy G couldn't get him the ball. He's been running wide open all year, and I told people about that. They laughed at me when I told them Brandon Ayuk was a top 10 receiver. They laughed at me. They laughed at me when they told me that. They hurt my feelings. They pressed the dislike button. He is. His routes are ridiculous. He has crazy route running. Right now, he's a top 10 receiver in the league, and he's not 10. Top 10, and he's not 10. Next up after that, we got the Bills versus the Commanders. I hate saying the Commanders. Washington, they should still just be the Washington football team. To be honest with you, just still be the Washington football team until y'all come out with something a little bit better. Like the Commanders, I still ain't rocking with it. So the Commanders intrigue me because I know, right? They intrigue me. Because they're a weird team. They're always a weird team. They'll beat people like the Chiefs and then lose to the Lions. Then they'll beat the Eagles and lose to like the Browns. Like, they're just all over the place. I can't stand the Commanders. Yes, I know that's right. Absolutely. So, just because they're all over the place and Josh Allen is I'm a rock with this one. I'm going with this one. I'm gonna stick with it. I'm sticking with it. 6.5. I like a touchdown. I like the touchdown because Josh Allen is trying to prove a point. He hears all the noise and he's trying to prove a point, and we rocking with it. Yeah, they do. They're not consistent. They are a 50-50 team. They're probably going to go 9-8 or 8-9, depending on which side of the gas they're going to be in the game before. So that's probably how Washington's going to end up. And that's why I like the Bills to be 6-5. They really shouldn't have even won last week. Like, their highway robbery is the reason they won, if you want to be completely honest. Next up, we got the Dolphins and the Broncos. The Dolphins and the Broncos. And the Dolphins are giving the Broncos 6.5 points. The Dolphins are at home. The Dolphins are giving the Broncos 6.5 points, and the Dolphins are at home. The Broncos' defense is underrated. It's not great. It's not. It's about top 12 defense. And the Dolphins had a problem putting up 24 points against a lesser Patriots defense. Now, we are talking Belichick, who is a defensive wizard. But I think the Broncos have a better defense overall. Russ did look like old Russ. He did until he didn't anymore. Because he started looking like older Russ after a while. Because Pop-Pop's knees aren't as good as they used to be. You know, he still missed about 14, incompletions or something like that. So he still was Russ. He did have some spurts. Now, I think, here's the thing. I think they are going to do better against the Dolphins team. I think that because the Dolphins defense isn't that good. Yeah, I feel you on that. And what you said with this, Russ is going to do the thing. I think the Dolphins definitely are going to win. 100%, I think the Dolphins are going to win. However, I like the Broncos to cover the. I don't like them. I don't like the Dolphins a touchdown better than the Broncos. And here's why. The Broncos haven't lost more than like 4 points this season, and they usually don't lose by a lot of points. And Russell Wilson's comeback, moxie and mojo and all that, I don't see Russell Wilson losing by 7 points. With Sean Payton getting better in the system? Pause. Hey, yo, we got some moderators to get this ball out of here. That's too crazy. Yo, what you be watching at home? I'm glistening. Dolphins still got that spread. I'm about to get some moderators and get you out of here, Bo. I know I'm messing with you, but still, come on. Like, it's too crazy. This man said, I got water glistening all over my body. What is these Dolphins spread? Nah, don't blame it on no spell check. You had to hit enter, cuz you had to hit enter. Let that sink in. You had to hit enter. But I like the Broncos 6.5, but parentheses, Dolphins win. Dolphins win. I'm not putting that one on the screen. They're going to have to read that for themselves. They got to read that one for themselves. I ain't putting that on the screen. You're hilarious, Chuck. Oh, you hilarious. Next one, we got the Chargers and the Vikings. Vikings are at home. Vikings are at home versus the Chargers versus a Brandon Staley bum-behind defense. Bumba-clot defense. Brandon Staley bumba-clot defense. Here's the thing. The Vikings pass offense is crazy. They got the number 2 passing offense in the league, and it makes sense when you got the number 1 wide receiver and then an up-and-comer, Jordan Addison. I knew Addison was going to be nice, and especially on the side of Justin Jefferson. Like that's I'm rocking with that. I'm rocking with that offense. That offense is crazy. Kirk Cousins is serviceable. Once again, he has people to throw to. He got throwing in a general vicinity. They're going to get it there. There's the thing about Kirk Cousins. He's accurate enough to get it there in the general vicinity. That's all you need. And that's why Kyle Shanahan loves him. because Kyle Shanahan wants somebody that's just going to throw the ball in that general vicinity of where he wants the ball to go to. Yeah, it is. It's very nice. And then they just traded, just traded, hot off the presses, breaking news. Cam Akers from the Rams has just been traded to the Vikings. So they also got a legit back that can be multifaceted. So if y'all got Cam Akers out there in y'all fantasy league, stash him. Because he's on the Vikings now, and they're going to use him. Kevin O'Connell is going to use him. He loves throwing it to the backs. Madison, yes, sir. Absolutely. Madison is not one of those backs. He's just a ground and pound. Cam Akers is going to be all around back. That just took the Vikings offense to another level, but their defense is, yeah. Yes, I agree with that. That's a good spot for him. I mean, he's basically Rite Aid's version of Dalvin Cook. You know what I'm saying? Like a diet Dalvin. You know what I'm saying? Diet Dr. Dalvin. 23 flavors of Dalvin Cook. You know what else? The Vikings are sneakily, they allow a lot of points, right? They turn over the ball a lot. But they don't allow a lot of yards. So you know what that means, right? They don't allow a lot of yards. They turn over the ball a lot and allow a lot of points. So that means they actually have a solid defense. They just turn the ball over a lot and allow the teams to score off of these turnovers and gassing their defense up. So the Vikings defense is pretty solid. And yes, Dr. Cook. With that said, I like the Vikings, especially at a 1. I don't know. Like, oh, they switched it. Oh, no, they switched it. That's even better. Oh, it changed. I did all this. See, I do this stuff beforehand because I'm prepared. I don't do this on a whim, guys. I actually do my research and my Googles and whatnot. And they switched this. It is actually this now. Even better because I have the Vikings outright winning. I have the Vikings outright winning. I mean, that's easy, actually. They're giving them a point. I don't even know, like, what happened. They just traded for Cam, so how did they just give? That's a trap. Don't you believe it? Tom and Jerry voice. I like the Vikings. Next up, we got the Colts and the Ravens. Vikes in the over. Vikes in the over. Yes, sir. Vikes in the over. Absolutely. Because both their defenses, because the Vikings turn the ball over. So they're going to put up points. I mean, they're going to allow a lot of points. And the Chargers defense is just trash. So it's yeah, definitely. That's going to be a shootout. That's going to be actually a pretty good game. Vikings and Chargers. I think it's going to be a good game. Next one depends on Anthony Richardson playing or not. So I will wait for this one closer to the game. I like the Colts with the over 7.5 against the Ravens. So I like the Ravens to win though. So let me point that out. Let me make sure. Because people will screenshot something and be like, man, but you said this. Yes. But I mean that. That's what I mean. I think the Ravens will win. Slobber knocker. There's a gold slobber knocker, JR. If Anthony Richardson doesn't play, I like it. I like the Ravens with the 7.5. If Anthony Richardson plays, I like that 7.5 because the Colts actually are putting up a lot of points and the Ravens aren't. The Ravens aren't putting up a lot of points right now. Yeah, I agree with that. He has the highest ceiling. That man's ceiling is crazy. He's built like Cam Newton, but faster and can actually throw the ball. So yeah, Jr. For slobber knocker. Ultimate Warrior. Paul Bearer. But I like I like the coach of Anthony Richardson. So asterisk next to that. Check back in Sunday before to see how healthy Anthony Richardson is. Next one, we have Falcons and the Lions. Y'all better put some respect on that Falcons defense. Put some respect on that Falcons defense. Great, Paul. Thank you. Appreciate it. Coming from a wrestling guy like you, I appreciate that. That's like half Paul Bearer, half Thanksgiving turkey. It's like turkey bearer, Yogi Bear. Oh, he's had that urn in his neck and turned like, oh, and that gullet used to be like, see, Paul Bearer, you made my mirror move with your thick gullet. Oh, thick neck head there. There we go. I hate these camera johns, guys. It's disrespectful. Y'all out there disrespecting me. Y'all here looking like a broke orthodontist. All right. So let's put some respect on the Falcons defense. The Falcons defense has been solid. Oh, see, this actually moved too. So y'all gotta lock them in when the locking's getting good. So the Falcons defense, first of all, they're 2-0 against the spread. They're 2-0 for the season. They're 8th in points allowed. Yes, sir. 3rd yards per game allowed. Yes, sir. I told y'all I wasn't live on there, but if you go back and check some of my receipts on Facebook, I said I like what the Falcons did for this offseason. AJ Terrell is the number 1 rated CB right now over Sauce Gardner. AJ Terrell is what he's looking like, how he was looking in Clemson. Sometimes you just need a different system. Sometimes it's coaching. Coaching matters. It really does. Falcons defense is solid. Bijan Robinson is a crazy back. This dude reminds me of like Bishop Sankey. Yeah, remember Bishop Sankey from the Titans? No, it's Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier. Bijan Robinson out of Texans. That man, it looks like a grown man out there running. He looks like a grown man out there running. It's only his 2nd game. Falcons are going to be sneaky in that NFC South. Yeah. Falcons are going to be sneaky in the NFC South because the Saints ain't it. The Saints ain't it. It's because of Derek Carr. Derek Carr is trash. What did they think he was going to do in New Orleans that he wasn't doing in Las Vegas? Las Vegas is actually more of a QB-friendly system. Josh McDaniels has a very QB-friendly system. And Derek Carr couldn't even run that system. He couldn't even throw it to Devontae Adams. Exactly. Derek Garoppolo. That's what his name should be. Derek Garoppolo and Jimmy Carr. There's no difference between those two guys. But anyway, so with that being said, the Falcons, they moved this one. So I'm going to just change it for – I had the Falcons plus 33.5 anyway, so now they want to change it and move it. Okay, it don't matter because I like them to outright win. I like the Falcons over 36 just because the Lions are a pretty solid offense. It may go down to like overtime. I could see it being like a 28, 24, something like that. 20, 27, 20. You know what I mean? I don't. It's a stretch. It's a sketchy one for me, but I like it. I like it because Detroit's defense isn't the greatest. So we go on with the Falcons. I definitely think the Falcons are going to win. That over is it's going to be close to that over. It's going to be very close to that over. That might push right there. So don't be surprised if that pushes. Go to these Patriots and the Jets because it's the Patriots versus the Jets. I like the Patriots. And over 36.5. 36.5. Like, are you kidding me? I think the Patriots are going to put up that themselves. 36.5 points. No, I'm definitely going with the over. I get it. Zach Wilson is hot butter garbage, but 36.5 points, come on. That's disrespectful, cuz. Be honest with you. And the next one, I'm not really – I get the Saints are 2-0. But they're just so unimpressive. I mean, their defense is always going to be solid, so they're only allowing the fifth points, fourth yards. So their defense is always going to be solid. Dennis Allen runs a solid defense, but Derek Carr is hot butter garbage. He is hot butter garbage. Yes, he will be violated again. Yes, Derek Carr is in the dumpster fire with Jimmy G. Yes, they're out there in Red Lobster buttering somebody's lobster because they're just in the trash, though. Yes, he will be violated. I like the Patriots, especially with Belichick coming with a new scheme. Belichick, for all you defensive coordinators out there, pay attention to Belichick. This dude's been doing it for 97 years. And still, I mean, he has his base, but he's still switching up his defense. This defense, he's running the defense I've never even seen before now. Like, he's running things that has, like, you can't even call it what it is because it's different. Just pay attention to Belichick's new defensive scheme, and it's going to confuse the shit out of Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson can't read a defense to save his life. Zach Wilson is trash. He's athletic, though. So, yeah, I like the Patriots with that. I'm not going to deal too long with the Packers and the Saints. I actually like the Packers because Jordan Love looks pretty good. He looks pretty good. He has this guy, Jaden Reed. It doesn't matter. It's his first year, so he's just going to develop a rapport with whoever he has a rapport with. It doesn't matter who's out there. So, LaFleur is always going to run a solid QB-friendly system. He's under the Kyle Shanahan tree, Sean McVay tree. So these systems are very QB-friendly. Long as you get the ball out of your hands, receivers are going to be running wide open, schemed wide open all of the time. So I like the Packers. And I don't know. That over scares me too. Yeah. This over scares me a tad. But we're going to rock with it. We're going to rock with it because the Saints defense is usually good until the Packers come in. You go under? You going under, Chuck? That's fair. That's fair. That's fair because, and this is why. The Saints are allowing 16 and the Packers are allowing 23, right? So I'm going to split that. I ain't going to give y'all my math and how I do it. I'm just doing it in my head. And then the Packers are second in the league, though, with points at 31, Chuck. So that's why I decided to do what I did. Yes, DNQBs. Packers don't have a great defense. That's what's making me think over is because the Packers don't have a great defense. So Derek Carr is serviceable, and the Saints last week put up 20 points on an okay Panthers defense. The Panthers defense has been solid for the last for the last few years. So they put 20 points on a Panthers defense that I think is better than the Packers. So I think the Saints may at least got 20 points in them. That's what I'm thinking in my head. I think the Saints at least 20 points because they put 20 points up last week. And I got the Packers with the over 2. So I'm thinking field goal 23. 20 and 23 is 43. So I'm thinking 24-20, 44 points. That's my yeah, exactly. Yes, I wouldn't touch it either. Yeah, Pontius Pilate, I wash my hands of that game. That one's a tough one. But just to go on record because I'm built like Teflon Yimmy. That we rocking with what we rocking with. And we rocking with the Packers. We going with the Packers on that one. And that's my final answer. Then we got the Texans and the Jaguars. Once again, I got faith in Dougie P. And the Texans aren't that good. And the Jaguars' defense is solid. Jaguars always have a solid defense. And the Jags, Texans' defense is solid as well. I just don't see the Jags beating the Texans by 10 points. I see them winning. I don't see them winning by 10 points. And here's why. The Jaguars are only 20th in points. They don't put up that many points, period. Texans allow a lot of points, but the Jaguars don't put up a lot of points. And the Texans are 5th in the league in pass defense. So we'll see. I don't see the +9.5. Well, so I don't see the +9.5. I see a win, but I don't know about the 10. I think CJ Stroud is getting better. DeMeco Ryans' defense against Trevor Lawrence. They might get close to a win, to be honest with you. My nephew might be right. They might get close to a win. Nephew, you might be right. They might get close to a win. They might get close to a win, but I'm going with the Jags to win, though. Just for on the record, I'm going with the Jags to win. Next one, we got the Titans and the Browns, battle of the mediocres. Both of these teams have extremely great run defenses. Yeah, I feel you. Absolutely. Both of these defenses have great run defenses. Yeah, I think so. I think the Texans are going to do well for themselves. See, this Titans team and the Browns team, they both have great run defenses, and they're both built on a run. I like the Titans. The Browns' defense is solid, but the Browns' defense is built on stopping the pass mostly. That's not the Titans' strength anyway. Their strength is the run. I think they're going to do what a lot of teams do against Browns to run right at Myles Garrett's side. You just get him up the field and just run at him. I like the Titans to win, actually. I don't know why the Browns are getting 3 points. Yeah, I don't know why the Browns are getting 3. Let's see what I get it there. Second in points allowed. Nah. They got the number 1 rush. Yeah, no, I just don't see it. Because the turnover differential. The Browns are 28th in the league in turnovers. That's why. 28th in the league in turnovers. The Titans are going to run a good ship. They're going to run a tight ship. They are 18th, but They're gonna run a tighter ship than the Browns are in that regard. So I just like the Titans. They're just a cleaner team on that end. Next one, I'm just go through quickly. I think a couple of these I'm gonna go through quickly because, yeah. Seahawks, Panthers. Seahawks over 42. I like them over. The Bryce Young is trash. I know it's his first year. He's not going to be good. I don't think so. Yeah, I agree. Chubb sucked all the wind out of him with Chubb going down. I know they re-signed Kareem Hunt. Breaking news: they re-signed Kareem Hunt. So they're actually gonna pick up where they left off on the running tip because they re-signed Kareem Hunt. But the Titans are good on the run. So I just like the Titans. I really do. Seahawks over the Panthers for all the reasons I stated. Panthers aren't good. Their defense is solid, but the Seahawks are a pretty good offensive team. Next one, I'm going balls to the wall with this one. Chiefs and the Bears. The Bears defensive coordinator just resigned today. What's today? Wednesday? He resigned today. Teams do walkthroughs on Thursdays in preparation for the games. So that means their defense coordinator resigned. So I guess maybe they'll stick with the same scheme and maybe have like the linebackers coach or to hit somebody, but they ain't going to be the defensive coordinator. He resigned against the – absolutely. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes, he's sick of the noise. Over 47.5, absolutely. They're going to murder the Bears. They're going to murder them. Are you crazy, Spagnuolo? They're going to murder the Bears. Man, I feel bad. And they're in Kansas City with all that noise. Oh, my Lord. If it's not 12.5, it's because they took their foot off the gas. That's the only reason if it's not 12.5 is because they take their foot off the gas at the end. They don't. They really don't. If they take their foot off the gas at the end, that's the only way that it's not going to be 12.5. Like, that's just crazy to me. And another one, I woke up and chose violence, though. But I went the opposite way on this one. Because people are going to be mad at me. People are going to be like, you's a hater, bro. You a hater, bro. Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. Just y'all ain't trying to hear me out. Cowboys versus the Cardinals. They're giving the Cardinals 12 points. Now, the Cowboys are 2-0 against the spread. No, 1-1 against the spread. Sorry, or 1-1 against the spread. First in points allowed. Number one offense, number one defense, basically. Number one turnover differential. I know that's right. But they're not going to beat the Cardinals by 12 points because I said so. I didn't freeze. They ain't. They're going to win. Of course they're going to win. They ain't going to beat them by 12 points. They will be smashing the pieces by 10 points or 11 points, and not by 12 points, Chuck. I think they're going to take their foot off the gas because they have a lot of athletic tools on their team. Next one. I knew y'all was going to hate that. I knew y'all wasn't going to like that one. Next one. We got the Raiders and the Steelers. I don't know what they saw, what game they saw yesterday or this past Sunday. I know that's right. I don't know what they saw and what they were smoking. It might be Fetty Wap because they're giving the Steelers 2.5 against the Raiders. The Raiders with TJ Watt going up against Jimmy Garoppolo. Oh, man. Hey, Miss Kim. The Raiders. Why is the Raiders giving the Steelers 2.5 points? Absolutely. Like, why? Are you kidding me? Wait, let's go back over last week's. This is what the Raiders did last week. Y'all ready for this? This is what the Raiders did against the Bills. They scored 10 points, right? Jimmy G was 16 for 24, 185 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions. And Bills don't have nowhere near the pass rush as Buffalo did. Because you know why? Jimmy G wasn't even sacked in the Buffalo game. He wasn't even sacked. TJ Watt is going to be all over Jimmy G, and he only had 185 yards against the Buffalo Bills. So, Steelers, are you shitting me? Come on. I'm angry. Tell them why you mad, bro. That really scuffs my Timbs. That really scuffs my Timbs. It really does. Last two games. We're almost there. We almost got an hour. Oh my God, we're almost there. We got 2 minutes. 2 minutes, Mr. Tapper Boys, South Brandywine. 2 minutes. All right, last game. Eagles and the Bucks. Y'all gonna hate me, and I don't care. Y'all gonna hate me, and I don't care. Y'all gonna hate me. So is Chuck. Because guess what? I like the Bucks. They in Tampa. Come down here and talk about it. Then come down here to Tampa. And tell me about it. And tell me why the Eagles are going to beat the Bucks in an away game. The Bucks defense is secretly nice. This is a trap game. Y'all ain't even ready for this, bro. I'm trying to tell you, y'all ain't ready for this one. Listen. I don't know. The Bucks are the Bucks defense is the 8th ranked defense in the league. No, I'm not. I'm not reading into no numbers. I understand that, Chuckathan. I understand that, Chuckley. Same thing can be said about the Eagles too, brother. Because that's what I went off of. Because here's the thing. Who did the Eagles play last week? They won. Yeah, listen. No. Didn't you argue me about the Eagles and the over with the Vikings? And remember that? Remember the Eagles Vikes over under and I won that bet too? I'm trying to tell you, Chuckathan. The Vikings defense is solid though. That's what I'm saying. Y'all listen. I understand. It is Baker Mayfield. It is all of those things. I get it. But Baker Mayfield is having a solid season. He's having a solid season. I get it, Chuck. I know. He's having a solid season. They six. I don't know, Chuck. He don't get sacked a lot. Baker Mayfield doesn't get sacked a lot. He really their offensive line is solid. Okay. Well, I here listen. I got the Bucks. Read my lips. No new taxes. I got the Bucks right here. And over 45, cuz you don't like it, sue me. everybody losing. Everybody's going broke this week. All these, I'm going 0-16 now because of the Eagles. Because I picked against the Eagles. Everybody 0-16. I like the Bucks, Chuck. How much Bucks? Because the Bucks and the Chucks likes Bucks, but he doesn't. It's all good, Chuck. I know. I'm telling you, the Eagles don't do well away all the time. They struggle on the road to put up points. I think they're actually going to lose. This is a trap game. It's hot down here. It's a trap game, and it's hot. It is different. Try to tell you, boy. It's a Monday night game. Boy, listen. What else wrong with Bucks? 0 fucks. That's what my picks is. Over 5. Last but not least, we got the Rams and the Bengals. that is. But I'm from Tampa now. I'm not even from Coatesville. I'm from Tampa. I've been here all my life. I've been knowing my mom all my life now. Last one, Rams versus the Bengals. Once again, and it moved. I don't know what they're talking about. But they're giving the Rams 2.5 points. The Rams have a great offense. Are you kidding me? What Bengals defense is stopping the Rams right now? And who they gonna put on Puka Nacua? Puka Nacua just ate against a very good 49ers defense because they got rid of the ball quickly. The Rams get rid of the ball quick. They are quick. They ain't gonna lose to them. I will. Tampa's a small city. It's big, but it's small. Everything takes 20 minutes to get to. I love it down here. Come on down here and say hi to your aunt. You come visit your aunt. Come say hi to me. And I'm going to show you why the Bucks are going to win. Puka, baby. Puka. But, yeah, I like the Rams with over and over 44 because the Rams defense isn't the greatest, and neither is the Bengals. So I believe it's going to be a shootout. Matthew Stafford versus Joe Burrow, former number ones, going at it. Georgia versus LSU. Y'all don't even dig what's going on. Georgia versus LSU, number one versus number one is going down. I like the Rams. Matthew Stafford, their original $60 million signing bonus, baby. Matthew Stafford is the reason these quarterback signing bonuses are ridiculous. People don't even remember that. That man had a $60 million signing bonus before it was popular. Mr. Number One pick out of Georgia, Matthew Stafford. All right, that's my picks. We're going to run through them real quick and make sure y'all get this money because they're getting better each week and because these teams are really separating themselves. So, quickly, we got 49ers, 10.5 over the Giants tomorrow. Giants have 5 starters out. We like the Bills. To go 6.5 over the Washington football team. We like the Broncos with the 6.5 with the Dolphins. But the Dolphins are going to win. We just don't think it will be by a touchdown. Then nextly, we like the Vikings over the Chargers, period. Because the Chargers defense is trash. After that, this is an asterisk because that depends on Anthony Richardson. because the Colts actually have a solid offense and been putting up points lately. And the Ravens, they're okay. They're okay. They're solid, but they're not. They don't put up a lot of points. And then this one, everybody put some respect on the Falcons' defense and their names. I like them. The Lions might just turn out to be frauds after all. Burrow's calf. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Burrow's not even 100%. So how are they giving that up? Yeah, like that's, yeah, like I don't know how they giving that up for the Burrow's not even healthy. Like that's just that's blows my mind. Chuckathy blows my mind. But yeah, put some respect on the Falcons' name. Against the Lions. Next, Belichick, Bella win, he's gonna beat the Aaron Rodgers Jets by at least 2.5 points, especially on their first game. That's what they do the first game. That's how they do it. Then we Saints and the Packers. I like the Packers. They're at home. That's the key. Derek Carr outdoors. He's only good inside of a controlled environment. And then we got the Texans and the Jaguars. I like the Jags to win, but I like the Texans to get that 9.5. They might even be close to a win, depending on how DeMeco Ryans wants to play it. And I think it's easy to do. Titans and the Browns. We like the Titans with that 3. Oh, it's at 3.5 now. It just moved up again. Lord. It's 3.5 now. It just changed while we were just here. So now it's at 3.5. So even more points, even better. I like the Titans with the 3.5. So you better lock these things in. That's what I'm saying. Y'all playing with these. Y'all better lock a big boy. Seahawks over the Panthers. I like them. The Seahawks are at home. Bryce Young is not going to know what to do with that 12th man. Absolutely not. He's already a deer in the headlines without the 12th man. Just like Justin Fields ain't going to know what to do in Kansas City. I like the Chiefs to blow them out at home. Are you kidding me? And underneath their home, they ain't going for it. Andy Reid's not going for it. Chiefs aren't going for it. Call me a madman. I'm on the run. I'm going crazy these last few picks. I'm going with the Cardinals. Say something. I don't care. Pull up. I pull up. Lamborghini, the cop car. Then Steelers Raiders. I don't know what they smoking, but it's not good, and it's probably the drugs. I know that's right. Steelers over the Raiders. Raiders are hot butter garbage. They're trash. Y'all mad at me for this one too. I like the Bucks over the Eagles. Boo, boo, tomatoes, whatever. Fire me, kill me, do whatever you got to do, bro. I'm a martyr, bro. We're out here. We're outside, bro. We like them. Steelers, yeah, that Pittsburgh Three Rivers metal water crack. That's what it is, that steel mill crack. And then speaking of steel mill crack, they're giving the Rams 2.5 points with a Joe Burrow who only has one leg. I don't understand. I do not understand. But as always, my guys, subscribe to the YouTube channel. I know that's right. But then you're going to be mad when you make money. You're going to be mad when you make some money. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, I made money, bro. I made some money, bro. I'm trying to tell you. We like them, man. It is your boy Geach. Subscribe to the YouTube channel so you can get these picks. Let you know when we're going live for other things. We're going to break down film so we can show you how trash Trevor Lawrence is one of these times. And show you how good other quarterbacks are. But it is your boy Geach. Fist bump. Let me get a Bring it in. Until next time, this is professional sports fan talk. I holla at y'all. Go Niners, bang bang. Niners game. We're gonna end it on some. What we gonna do? Y'all want to hear some crooks and villains? Y'all want to hear some more crooks and villains? Crooks and villains. Give me some on the way out. Crooks and villains. What we got?
God, the beneficent, the merciful, master of this day of judgment in which we now live. He alone do we serve, and it is He alone that we beseech for aid. Guide us along the right path and shield us from the weaknesses in the world today. Bless our mothers, our fathers, our sisters, and our brothers.